Bands make it better. Hi, I'm Jonathan Pritchett with Theology, Geek, Fitness, and in this video, I'm going to talk about how bands can make bodyweight exercises and calisthenics better all around. Now, I'm a big fan of calisthenics. In fact, I dedicate 2 days a week to primarily bodyweight training, but I supplement it with some accessory work with things like my hydro balls, my Surge 60, my sandbag, my adjustable dumbbells, my weight vest, and yes, resistance bands. See, I've been training 6 days a week. 2 days a week I train with my resistance bands. 2 days a week I train with my T2 ISO trainer, and 2 days a week I train bodyweight calisthenics and supplement it with all those other things I just mentioned. But maybe you don't have an assortment of gear. I've been collecting gear for over 2 years now, adding relatively inexpensive items to my anywhere home office, out in the woods, wherever, at the park, wherever I want to train. I've got kits for my office. I've got kits for my car. I've got that I travel with. I've got kits at home, all kinds of fun little stuff. But do I need most of it? No. Do I like it all? Absolutely. So one of the things that I really appreciate about calisthenics is it's more about moving your body through space, controlling your body, and building strength with your body. But at some point, as you've probably heard in other fitness YouTube videos, one of the problems with body weight exercises, whether it's a suspension trainer or if it's parallel bars or a pull-up bar or whatever, is progressive overload. Unless you want to keep slowing down the reps or keep doing variations or just keep increasing the volume or whatever, at a certain point you've got to make the exercises more challenging. And despite the fact that I use all kinds of fun stuff like sandbags or whatever, bands are the most versatile tool to do with your bodyweight training in terms of making the exercises more challenging. Take push-ups, for example. Yeah, it's fun to do variations of push-ups, but at some point you just want to crank out some push-ups. Well, if you had a set of resistance bands, you can make the push-ups more challenging just by adding a resistance band. And of course, the resistance bands I use the Undersun resistance bands for the most part, and they come with 5 from extra light to extra heavy. And you know, if you get to a certain point in your push-ups, or you just don't feel like doing variations, you want to just stick to your basic routine, add the extra light band and work your way up to the light band, the medium, the heavy, the extra heavy. There you go. So you can constantly challenge. Another thing that you can do with resistance bands is, say you're doing bodyweight training and you can't hit as many pull-ups as you want. You hit failure, but I probably take a break. I got a little bit more in the tank. Of course, resistance bands primarily help assist with pull-ups. So even if you can do pull-ups, you can always throw the resistance band on and crank out a few more assisted reps. Or if you can't do a pull-up yet, but you want to stick primarily to bodyweight training, they can assist you in doing pull-ups, but they can also add resistance, as if you were wearing a weighted vest or a belt that had weight plates hanging off of it or whatever. A resistance band can do the same thing. If you can find something heavy to anchor it to and just put it around your shoulders, it can add resistance to make the pull-ups more challenging. And so that's something that you want to keep in mind, that after you can do so many pull-ups and you want to keep progressing and keep challenging yourself, a set of resistance bands is great for that. Now, of course, you can use a weight vest, and I have a weight vest at home. It's 20 pounds. I have a 40-pound weight vest that I use here. One of the things about the weight vest that I don't like is adjusting the weights. Like the one I have at the office has 20 2-pound weight things that you insert all around the vest, and they're a challenge to get in and out. Whereas if you just hook a band to something heavy, in the demonstration, I hook it to my sandbag and just put it over your shoulder. You can adjust to the band that's currently challenging you, and you can progress from there, moving up in bands as you get stronger. So they help with that. They also assist in your dips, if you wanted to do body weight dips on a dip station or parallel bars or whatever, but you can also use it to resist. and not just assist, but resist your dips. And the same thing with body weight rows. Resistance bands can be used to assist you, kind of bouncing you back up as you do your rowing movements, or you can do it the other way and put it across your torso, and they can resist as you do body weight rows. And then, of course, when it comes to training your legs, there's only so many body weight squats and lunges and glute bridges you can do before you have to keep figuring out how to make it more challenging. Of course, weight vests come into play. You can grab a sandbag. You can do some combination of a weight vest and a sandbag, or a weight vest and grab some hydro balls and do some squats or whatever. But you know what else? Resistance bands. Resistance bands can challenge you and help you progressively overload on your body weight squats. Just add a band and you can do banded squats. Same thing with banded lunges. And the good thing about resistance bands is that they can work in multiple planes of resistance. So if you can find a spot to anchor, and one of the things I like about Undersun is they have the best anchor in the business, because it's an indoor-outdoor anchor that you can use in a door, or you can wrap it around a pole or a tree branch or whatever, and you can pretty much anchor anywhere with it. So you have resistance in multiple planes, so you can just wrap it around yourself, and you can do forward lunges, reverse lunges, side lunges, whatever. And so that's kind of the advantage of bands, even over suspension training, unless you're adding a weight vest, which I typically will add a weight vest when I'm doing like squats on a suspension trainer or whatever. But to challenge yourself just doing body weight squats and lunges, it's great to have resistance bands for that progressive overload, so that you can work harder without having to exponentially increase your variations or reps. Another thing to keep in mind is, like, even with glute bridges, sometimes the variation is to do a glute bridge with one leg kicked out in the air and then you do the other side or whatever. But with resistance bands, you can just hook it around your feet and pull the double band up around your waist, and you can do glute bridges on the floor like that, while adding more resistance to it. Or you can even just anchor it and do it standing up, and kind of do a standing hip thruster if you want. And that's the thing with resistance bands, is even if you really like body weight training, and I really like body weight training, the bands also can add a lot of options for accessory work and other exercises, for biceps curls, triceps extension, shoulder work. If you wanted to do just some lateral raises or whatever, bands give you that option. They are a great accompaniment to your body weight training, your calisthenics training, and they're just so versatile. They're more, I would argue, more versatile than a weight vest or something like that you wanted to add. Bands just open up so many things. They can add progressive overload to your body weight training, and they can give you more exercise options. So bands just make it better. That's the bottom line with body weight training and wanting to progressively overload. It's interesting when you hear a lot of fitness YouTubers talk about that being the problem. One of the few, one of the things that they rarely ever mention, few of them do, is add resistance bands to help with progressive overload. But I don't know why they don't mention it. They know they exist, but part of me wonders the reason why they don't want so many people jumping on the bandwagon, so to speak, is they'll realize just how useful they are, and how much you don't really need a whole lot of other stuff to follow along. If you just had resistance bands and your body and something like a pull-up bar and some parallel bars or whatever, you can get so much work done with just that much. So bands just make it better. So if you're into calisthenics or whatever, you should always have a set of resistance bands to augment your body weight training. Like I said, they're portable, they're versatile, they're inexpensive. They're just a well-rounded tool. And, I always recommend Undersun. They're the best resistance bands on the market for the price. For their price point, they have the best anchor on the market, period. They've got the best warranty. It's lifetime. You break a band, they send you another one. They don't ask questions. The best customer service. It's a great company. So you ought to get you some Undersun bands and use those and incorporate them into your calisthenics and bodyweight training. And with that, I'll leave it there. And if you like the video, please click the like button. If you don't like the video, click the dislike button. I don't really care either way. If you want to support Theology Geek Fitness, you can become a patron at patreon.com/theologygeekfitness. There you can get access to more content, workout videos, full routines. There you can follow along, but no, you won't hear any audio. You won't hear me counting off the reps. You won't hear me talking about how my glutes are on fire while doing some sort of exercise. I don't do any of that nonsense. I just, you can just follow along with the video while you listen to your favorite music or podcast or whatever else. You don't have to hear me prattle on about anything or grunt and sweat, pray, scream, whatever I do during my workouts. It's better for everybody that way anyway. So with that, I appreciate you watching this video. We'll see you in the next one. God bless.